And now to talk about the vision and inspiration from the lens of property development, architecture, interior design, and of course, sustainable master planning, we have the builders and designers of Lipa's newest luxury residential development. We have Robinsons Land's Business Unit General Manager, Mr. Rico Raceles.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, our next guest is a licensed interior designer who has collaborated with international design firms such as Casa Armani, Versace Home, and Missoni Home, to name a few. Currently, she is an executive director of the esteemed Philippine Institute of Interior Designers, a member of the advisory board of the College of Architecture and Design of Andrew College, and the owner of Chat Forest Design Studio, Miss Chat Forest. And also we have a licensed architect and an unshakable optimist who always seeks meaningful connections between people and place through his designs, and has worked with clients such as Robinsons Land and Taft Properties Incorporated. He's currently the design director of managing partner of Archi Asia. Please welcome architect Nacho Mauricio. And lastly, he offers 25 years of global experience in landscape architecture, master planning, and environmental graphic design in the United States, Middle East, and Asia. He has collaborated with distinguished design firms such as Foster & Partners, Perkins and Will, DPZ, ACOM, ADAS, and Atkins. A member of the American Society of Landscape Architecture, a licensed landscape architect in the Philippines, and managing director of Caris. Please welcome Mr. Michael Espiritu. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to start already. Good to see all of you virtually. First to Miko. I've got several questions here, and I'd like to start with you. Why has Robinsons Land been increasingly venturing into the luxury residential market?
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Well, we wanted to contribute to serving the needs of the luxury home buyers. There's a limited supply of residential developments in the luxury segment, especially in Metro Manila. And we've been fortunate that our recent launches, Aurelia Residences, the Villares Residences, and the residences at the Western Manila Sonato Place have been very well received by the market. Now with Forbes Estates Lipa, this would be our first luxury subdivision development. Due to the pandemic, the benefits of privacy, greenery, and large spaces were really highlighted. And more families have sought to live outside the metro. In fact, land values of high-end subdivisions have increased sharply in the past 2 years. And so we've designed an offering where residents can enjoy the benefits of safe, expansive spaces, and a peaceful environment where we think they can continue to be productive, while also making an investment that will surely appreciate over time.
You know, Miko, for Forbes Estates Lipa, I really like the phrase, a life well lived. I can actually really sense the intent to go beyond just offering amenities, and it's a lot, but a philosophy and way of life. Can you share more on that?
Yeah. As I mentioned, you see the experiences from the pandemic informed our thinking on how we wanted to define Forbes Estates Lipa. But at its core, what we really wanted to find out is what is the lifestyle that we will provide our residents. And the phrase a life well lived encapsulated it. By this, we broke it down to mean having the luxury of space, the luxury of time, plus the appeal and charm of the Lipa location and locale. So in luxury of space, we mean both in your home and within the estate. The lot cuts at an average of 500 square meters and the largest at almost 1,000 square meters doesn't allow compromise in terms of creating your ideal spaces. So whether you're designing into a home office or a room for homeschooling, or you're looking to build a vacation home or ancestral home with a large communal space environment. The estate overall is also designed. We have wide roads. We have 4 theme parks, a 1 hectare clubhouse, and at only 10 lots to a hectare, you still get the privacy and peace of a relaxing environment. On luxury of time, our goal was to try and give more of it to our residents by having
everything you need for your physical health and social well-being within or near the estate.
We wanted to make it a sanctuary where you can actually carve out more time to spend for yourself and with your family. And lastly, on choosing Lipa,
it's an urbanized city that we feel has the right mix of giving residents accessibility to Manila, while still retaining that laid-back atmosphere and provincial feel of slow living. So in summary, Forbes Estates Lipa aims to be your home that caters to all of your needs, giving you the luxury to live at your own pace and allowing you to enjoy the things that really matter to you.
Thanks a lot, Miko. Now let's hear from the partners who translated this vision of RLC. I'd like to find out from Chat and architects Nacho and Michael. How was it working on a new project during the pandemic? Chat, let me ask you first.
Well, when we were working during the pandemic, the first thing that I was thinking was I do have to prioritize because we design for interior spaces, so it's more human centered. So I had to focus more on the wellness of people because that's really like something that clients really ask for now, whether residential or commercial spaces. So the spaces that we have to design has to improve people physically, mentally, emotionally, and the big thing is that we have to bring them closer to nature. So the clubhouse was the best medium that we could work with during the pandemic. So I guess it was a perfect medium.
All right, I was having a bit of a problem, Chat, understanding the last part of what you said. I'm not sure if we lost your audio communication, but you're still on air. Are we able to ask Chat to kind of finish the last minute? We'll try again, Chat. Maybe just the last minute of what you were saying.
Okay.
There, I can hear you.
There. Well, what we were doing during the pandemic was I had to prioritize and rethink what I was doing with my designs in general, whether commercial or residential design. And I thought of prioritizing human-centered design. So we had to think of wellness in general and to create physical, emotional spaces that will improve people and bringing the outdoors in and bringing them closer to nature. So the clubhouse was the perfect medium for doing this, and it was a good start for us as a design firm.
Interesting. And let's ask Nacho the same question. What was it like working on a new project during the pandemic?
Well, I think what you did was that the approach was different from what we're used to. So what we did was we focused more on how do we put in more natural lighting, more natural ventilation into the spaces, at the same time improving open spaces so that whenever people go around the clubhouse or the estate, they don't have to bump into each other because with the pandemic and everything, you don't want to be close to people when you're going out. Yeah.
Okay, Michael, what about you?
Yes, Pinky. This is a unique project, Forbes Estates Lipa. We started this pre-pandemic, and then we're launching it as the pandemic ends. And in between those, we had 2 years to kind of digest this project and really think about everything. It's usually, a project like this usually takes no more than a year. But in this case, it took us more than 2 years. So that gave us a little bit more time to really think about what the expectations of the buyers are after the pandemic or during the pandemic, what they're really looking for in residential development. So we gave a little bit more insight on, of course, the outdoor spaces. What do residents need now more than ever? That they need more spaces now than they did before the pandemic. So that was a very interesting and challenging design exercise for this project.
One of the central feature amenities of the Forbes Estates, it's its very own clubhouse, the Forbes Club. And Chat, you were talking about this a while ago. I understand you were the one in charge of the interior design, as mentioned. It's good maybe to find out, this is huge. It's a big clubhouse. What was your maybe inspiration in creating this?
Well, together with the wellness approach that we wanted to, actually my inspiration was the whole community. Yeah, we have the mall and then we have the residences. But, there's a space that should be available for family members to take a dip in the pool, for the moms to work out, or even just to meet and greet their friends. So this clubhouse was that. And together with that wellness approach, we wanted people, as they enter the lobby, to immediately transport themselves into feeling better. When you enter a space and you suddenly feel better because it's pleasant, that was our goal. And I think we achieved it in a way that we have the high space, the high ceiling, the super spacious lobby, and then you see the expanse of the space, the courtyard, the pools. It's such a huge space. So I think we achieved that, and the inspiration of creating a tropical oasis was number one for us, for the community.
But were there any trends or possibly even key features that you incorporated as you were working on the interior design of the amenities?
In keeping with the approach to sustainable materials, we're going to try to put in sustainable finishes such as low VOC paints. It's good for the health of people, and probably try to put in antibacterial tiles and touchless fixtures for the bathrooms. And maybe for the gym, we put in the cardio, the weights, and we want to add in like probably a CrossFit station, TRX, and all the bells and whistles for a gym. So we have everything in line for the kiddos and all the adults to work out in.
Okay, thank you. So let me ask Nacho, now you guys worked on the plans of Forbes Estates during the pandemic. And with the shifting priorities and maybe even, of course, preferences of home buyers, you had certainly had to take these into consideration. So, Nacho, from an architectural design aspect, what were your considerations when working on this project?
Well, our key feature was to make sure that the existing trees or the acacia trees were first preserved, so that whenever, because what we wanted was to preserve all the trees that are existing, and then at the same time, when it comes to the wellness and health and well-being of the people, we know that architecture has a huge influence in people's moods and feelings. So we focused on providing as much natural lighting, focusing on double height spaces, and the planning is arranged in a way that it hugs the trees or the landscape built by Michael of Friaris, and at the same time the welcoming feature of the clubhouse, if you're coming from the street, allows you to feel very welcome and very welcome as you enter into the clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Michael will say as well, because I was going to ask, is it the same for you, Michael, since your firm Criaris was in charge of the environmental landscaping? What was the impact of the pandemic with your plans for Forbes Estates?
Yeah, that's a good question. The past 2 years, I know everybody experienced a wake-up call. Everybody started doing activities that they usually did indoors. They're starting to do it outdoors, like dining, exercising, playing, even working. And I believe the impact of the pandemic sort of reset us in that way, wherein we're valuing more the outdoor spaces or outdoor living in general. And I think it's in our genes. It's hardwired in us that we need outdoor space. We need parks and open spaces. We need to jog outdoors. We need to swim outdoors, play outdoors. And I think we didn't run short on Forbes Estates Lipa. We definitely provided a lot of outdoor amenities for health and wellness. You have the Tranquility Park, the picnic park, the swimming pool, the playground, the activity park, and not only for people but also for pets. So you have that dog park as well. So I think this is a big leap when it comes to landscape architecture. Post-pandemic, definitely outdoor living has been given more value. So I hope this continues, this trend continues well into the future.
But what are the sustainable concepts that you have introduced in the design of the open spaces in Forbes Estates Lipa? Say, for example, the estate park. Can you possibly discuss that in detail?
Sure. First and foremost, the site is blessed with a lot of existing trees. Acacia trees, or rain trees as we call them. These are really big trees, at least 50 years old. And as Nacho mentioned earlier, we really wanted to save these trees and enhance them. They're very valuable assets to the site. And, you don't want to plant something now and wait 50 years to appreciate it. I mean, these trees really give their value right now at this present time. So that was one. The second was to plant native species of trees and shrubs. Native species, we all know, adapt better to our native climate, and they require less maintenance. And third, we added the orchard. The orchard are trees that are fruit-bearing, so it makes the landscape productive as far as producing food for the residents. And lastly, the way we manage the stormwater, we managed it in a way that when it rains, water is allowed to percolate through and to replenish our groundwater. And this doubles as well as flood prevention for the whole residential community.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, you gave us a sense of what went into the design, the architecture, and what the vision was for this project. Thank you. And how, of course, Forbes Estates Lipa was crafted for a post-pandemic world wherein well-being and a life well-lived is paramount without compromising mobility, productivity, and, of course, quality of life. Again, I'd like to thank our guests, Miko, Chad, architects Nacho, and Michael for that very insightful discussion. So now we're giving you a glimpse of how new developments are progressing in the construction update video of Forbes Estates Lipa. Let's all watch this. This is such a promising project, and I'm getting